and welcome back, everyone, to the chopping block on Garden State Sports. My name is Andrew Hefner, alongside, as always, my co host, Dylan Shaw. For the first time since the start of this podcast, we are coming with you after a loss for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, but not necessarily a loss that I guess from the outside, am extremely upset with. I'm sure we'll hear your thoughts in a moment, Dylan, but opening Big Ten play at home against Iowa. Rutgers seemed to be in it for most of the game, but ultimately ended up falling 38-28. Dylan, what are your just kind of immediate thoughts about the game? And then we'll dive into kind of what went wrong for Rutgers as the game went on.
Just watching the game, you feel like they outplayed Iowa on almost both sides of the ball. Offense by a mile. In the first half, I believe the score was 21-14 at one point, and we were outgaining them in yards by 200 plus. It was like 260 to like 60, so maybe 200. And I talked to my dad. I'm like, you would think, looking at these yardages, that we're up 21-0, maybe 21-7, but you're not. And you know why? It's because of the special teams unit and the defense. And special teams it's something that Greg Schiano, like, he puts a big emphasis into. We have blocked the most punts in like the past 5 years in FBS, and like we strive to do good on that side of the ball, and we normally are, no matter how bad the offense or defense is. And they let us down yesterday. You can't open Big Ten play with your blackout crowd, your Friday nights sold out records. First of all, fans showed up. I mean, the production yesterday was fantastic, and the fans showed up 55,000, a record-selling crowd, and you open up with a kickoff return for a touchdown. It's just unacceptable, and it was just I don't even understand what they were doing. He just ran a straight line. It was not no cuts, no jukes, nothing, just a straight line. And then on one of the field goals later in the game, false start. Jay Patel hit the field goal, pushed it back 5 yards. The new attempt doinked it off the crossbar and missed it. Right. Those are two mistakes on the special teams that are just unacceptable. And I want to point out one more thing. They were a punt. I don't know. I forgot where it was in the game, but they were punting, and we had a player who ran off sides like blatantly, but luckily did not touch an Iowa like blocker, so it didn't count as an offsides. That's like a punting rule. That's another thing. That was inexcusable. That almost gave them a fresh 5 yards. These little mistakes were just so frustrating to watch yesterday because the game was given to us. It was just handed to us. We were scoring on our first three drives, then a missed field goal, then another missed field goal, and then the offense went cold all second half until one drive. You can't rely on the offense to put up points every time, and you can't leave points on the board. And those are the mistakes that's happening. And the defense. First of all, I don't even want to blame the safeties like I do every week, right? The safeties, I from just watching on TV, I didn't see big issues and problems that they caused. I thought Elad played very well yesterday. Jet Elad, he made great tackles, which is something that I thought he kind of struggled on, and I there was no blown coverages from him and Sanders, the other safety. I thought Cam Miller played a spectacular game. I don't think he gave up many catches. He had one drive, one set of downs where this is where I want to talk about. We're up by 4 points. We just take the lead. I think it's 28-24. The momentum is on our side. We Cam Miller rush it, safety, a corner blitz, sacks the quarterback, sacks Mark Gronowski. It's 3rd and 8, and they roll him out on 3rd and 8. We send pressure, and Cam Miller has his hands on a pick, almost picks it off. Fabulous coverage. We're going to get the ball back up for 8 minutes to go in the game. The game is in our hands. And Al-Shadi Salam, he's a former running back, converted to linebacker, now playing DB, just gets torched. Hell, holds on to his receiver. Not even involved in the play. Gronowski could not make his crossbody throw to where he was. Did not matter. As a fan, you're like, ref, you can't throw that. But it was a blatant holding call. And Shadi Salam played an atrocious game. He got cooked after cooked after cooked, and every time it was like, Jacoby Henderson gets a nice play, Cam Miller gets a nice play, and then Shadi Salam would get torched on third downs, everything. And it's just like, it's so frustrating to see 1 to 2 players and a whole unit like of special teams just kind of lose the game for a team that's played so well yesterday. You look at Iowa's offense; they played their best game. Offensively, they played their best all season. Right, Gronowski made some really good throws. He also missed so many easy throws. He missed a touchdown
Yeah.
that led to 3 points. If they hit if they scored the touchdown, I think the game was over earlier. He missed a
100%.
wide open touchdown. He missed a few wide open rollout third down conversions, but he still played really well. And I just don't think that I don't think it was good enough for us for the defense to be able to let up 31 points. I don't. It's just
Yeah.
these like small mistakes were so frustrating. And
I
that holding penalty just you knew
yeah.
right when it happened, and they gave him a fresh set of downs. You know, it's just this is a Rutgers collapse. This is a typical team. It's just not going to go in our favor, and that's what happened.
I think that the one drop that Iowa had, like on third down, pretty much in the red zone, which was kind of gifted to them either way. Um, I forget who it was intended for, but the first problem was one, he was wide open. There was no one on him. He was kind of just standing there waiting for maybe Gronowski to pass it over to him. But then he dropped it, which was good for Rutgers. But he was wide open. Even
Yeah.
the announcers remarked, they were like, he didn't even think that he was gonna be open in that situation, or he didn't know why he was open in that situation because
That's a good point, and
there's no
it was a,
communication.
it was a miscommunication. And there's actually I forgot. It's a good point. One time earlier in the game, it was I think 14-7. I want to say when Rutgers was in the lead, and you kind of felt like you needed one more stop to like kind of like just like go into full like get all your momentum on Rutgers side, and first play of that drive, I think that it was one of our DBs. This is only actually one play that the DBs and safeties did mess up on. One felt that it was man coverage, one thought it was zone coverage, and one ran with his defender and one didn't, and it just left a wide open crossing route for like 20, 30 yards over the middle. Luckily, yeah, we made a play on it, so like they only got 20, 30 on it, but like it doesn't make sense how you can lose your 4 weeks into the season, you can lose your matchup like that. I mean, it's terrible. I thought maybe these fixes would be fixed Miami, Ohio week, Norfolk State week, and then like okay, you're building chemistry, you're getting used to playing. You don't do this in practice, right? Full pads and all this, but no, nothing's changed. It's just these countless mistakes that it's like you're giving the game to the other team. And then I want to point out something on the offense. I thought the offense played spectacular, right? First half, they were clicking. I don't think in the first half they made no mistakes practically. Probably could have converted in one of the red zone trips where they missed a field goal.
Yeah.
But like, you can't ask your offense to score a touchdown every drive. And they honestly put up 24 points really in the first half, 21 on the scoreboard. But the one thing I didn't like is that we got the ball back. Iowa punted the ball to us with like a minute 20 to go in the end of the first half. And it's just typical Shiano just to play conservative, run the clock out, and just play for halftime. It's a tie game. It's 21-21. Why do you think it's smart when you have such an electric offense to run the ball on first and second down, and I believe on third down. I couldn't be for sure. I believe on third down though, and then punt the ball back to them, and then on top of it, special teams again. We punted it to I think his name is Connor Wetzel or something,
Yeah.
their returner, instead of punting out of bounds or away from him. We punted right to him, and he took it to our 10-yard line, almost returned it, almost had a punt return
Yeah.
for touchdown to end the half. And that was a bad mistake on him not stepping out of bounds to give Iowa a field goal. But I don't understand that. Like, what are we
And
watching? You're not trying to score, and you're not even trying to make a smart punting play.
and we were talking in the early weeks about how many times Shiano was bold and was going for it on fourth down and was trying to make the big plays. Even early in this game, he was down and he was already having. I think it was DT Sheffield that made that early catch on the first drive of the game to send him to the goal line. He was already having these guys just go on go routes like pretty early on, um, and I thought that was kind of a sign that things might be different and that he had more trust in this offense, because he really should. Like, this offense has been amazing, and even I think it would have gone differently if Ian Strong ended up not being able to play last night, because who knows, because he was really the main part of a lot of these drives. I mean, in the third quarter going into the fourth quarter when no one had scored for 15 minutes plus, it was pretty much just 4 back-to-back receptions for Ian Strong, who got the Rutgers offense going again.
Yeah.
So overall, I think that Schiano should realize that he is it's pretty special to have what he has right now, and he should really, I mean, this is some of these guys last season. He needs to use these guys now while he can. And then also, then Ian Strong being there was big.
I'm sorry. I've watched a ton of football today already, like Big Ten action. Like it's like starting Big Ten play, right? I know it's hard to tell, right? Because we didn't. Iowa has a great defense. There's Iowa State. They put up 16 points against Iowa in week 2. That's it. They won, with 16 points. And then I was like, okay. Everyone was like, oh, this is an amazing Iowa defense with a bad offense, right? And today was yesterday was the opposite. I know our defense is terrible, so Iowa's going to put up points. But I really do think our offense is in the upper half of the Big Ten. You have obviously the Ohio State, the Oregon, the Penn State, maybe the Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, right? I think we are right there with putting up points at a consistent rate. And it's just it's so hard as a fan to know that this is our best offense we've had in a decade plus, just to be let down with a defense and can't put it together. We're not even asking the defense to limit teams to 20 points. Just limit them to 25. Give your offense the chance, right? And then one other thing, when Schiano knows you have an amazing offense, he knows that. He should know that by now. Iowa takes the lead late in the fourth quarter, and it's 20, I think 27, 20, no, maybe 31, 28. And we need to keep the foot on the gas and score quickly. We can't slow the game down. And on down one, on first down, he runs the ball. And I think on second down, he also ran the ball. And I just don't like that at all, because the running game was not our specialty yesterday, and it hasn't been all season. It's been the passing game. And drive before, Ian Strong and Athan Kaliakmanis, as you said, completed like 4 in a row to get us down into like the red zone and score a touchdown. I don't understand why Schiano and Shiraka called 2 run plays to start a drive where you completely took the crowd out of it, and then after not converting on third down, you punted it right back. Or sorry, no, tipped, intercepted.
Yeah.
And the game was just flipped right there. You have this. You put out on the gas and just keep going, keep throwing it. It doesn't matter if you're losing. The whole game was because of the offense. The only reason you're in it. It's just the conservative play calling by Schiano, the poor defensive mistakes. It's just such little things that lose the game for you. And I mean, the crowd was electric last night. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better crowd show up. Everyone wore black. Everyone was into it. Like, it's just such a big letdown as a fan.
And kind of another thing about the run game is it was C.J. Campbell didn't play. It was only Anton Raymond, and then Jashawn Benjamin got 2 carries or whatever. If you're gonna be still that kind of into using your run threats and kind of running schemes like that, you got to really have those 2 guys both available, because otherwise it really doesn't work. And we've seen that. I mean, you'll see on the stat sheet, Anton Raymond had 2 touchdowns, but that's because it was the passing game that got him up to the 3-yard line or whatever. So, yeah, and I guess Athan Kaliakmanis also had 2 rushing touchdowns, but again, same situations. They were just kind of running the same play on the goal line every time, and it happened to be a run play. So, yeah, I mean, I think without C.J. Campbell, we're learning that those kind of tricky run plays where they just hand it off to Anton Raymond and let him try to figure something out doesn't really work unless you use C.J. Campbell to come right back on right after.
And one thing with Campbell is Antoine Raymond is our primary ball carrier, like a rusher. But C.J. Campbell is one of his strengths, one of the reasons we brought him over from FAU, because we knew Antoine Raymond was our guy running the ball, because he showed great signs last year. But CJ Campbell is so good in the passing game.
Yeah.
He's a great back catching the ball, and he's so good after the catch. And it's something that like changes the way Iowa plays their defense. Because when CJ Campbell's in, you have to it's a pass, but it also could be a run. You kind of change the dynamic. Antoine Raymond never catches the ball out of the backfield. He never does because it's not a specialty. Only if you have to, right? But like it just kind of changes the way Iowa sets up their defense, and that was a big loss for us. And also the injuries. We are so banged up.
Yeah.
Tyler Needham down again. He's been lingering with one. He was questionable to come into. I believe Jordan Walker was banged up last night with an injury. I want to say there was a few other players that are not coming to my mind immediately, but our team was banged up, and you could tell this like the front like seven of Iowa was getting to our O line. Like late in the game, they were fighting through. They were kind of winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and we were just weren't ready for it. And I don't want to be like blame the refs or anything, but man, were there some calls that were just I don't understand why they wouldn't throw the flags. We got a few right, but they were
Yeah.
so blatant PIs the ones they did call. Something like on one, like I don't know if the Iowa player was like complaining, but he literally tackled DT Sheffield on a third down, which just like don't complain. You tackled him, you didn't even give him a chance to catch it. And like the third down right after that, like that was an automatic first. And the third down right
Yeah.
after that, they would target DT Sheffield again on a little like like a dig route over the middle. And the Iowa defender got there like a whole second early and gave Sheffield like no chance of catching it, and there was no flag. The crowd was booing. I mean, I didn't really like that. And there was a few times even the announcers pointed out that there were false starts and offsides on the Iowa front on the Iowa lines that just weren't called. And I wasn't looking at Rutgers, so I don't know. Maybe they were also getting lucky with some of the calls, but
Yeah.
there were some important ones I feel like they missed that could have changed the game.
Yeah.
That's obviously just
Yeah.
an annoyed Rutgers fan. Like if we won the game, I wouldn't be mentioning that.
Well, you mentioned some records that were set last night, specifically with attendance, but this is also the most points ever scored by the Rutgers offense against Iowa, um, just ever. So,
We did it in the first quarter.
and it was done in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns, 14 points. I believe 10 was the most before this. So,
Yeah,
um,
something that was happened like 2 years ago. It was a
yeah.
blackout game right
So,
there.
and I don't know. Minnesota is definitely worse in a lot of ways than Iowa, but we're going on the road now. Um, and that's going to kind of be the challenge. Can we get a Big Ten win early on? So, some kind of quick thoughts before we wrap up just about this upcoming week. Um, and then, yeah.
I mean, we're going on the road. Like it's no matter where you go in the Big Ten, if you're going on the road, it's gonna be a hard game. Minnesota, I mean, they have a great fan base. They show up to every game, right? And they're a good team. They're right now, I believe they're 2-1 on the year. They played today, I believe. Actually, I don't know if they play. Might be a bye week. Uh, but they suffered a loss last week on like a 10:30 night game at California. I think California. Side note, their quarterback, their freshman, unbelievable quarterback. He's going to be a Heisman candidate in 2 to 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad loss. They lost by I think one score max.
It was
And
27-14.
okay, two scores, but it was a close game all game, and I think that they did lose because I believe Darius Taylor, their star running back, missed that game, and he might come back for our game. I couldn't tell you that yet, but he'll be a big factor in that game if he plays or not because we haven't been great at stopping the run all year. Yesterday, Kamari Moulton, running back for Iowa, was just consistently getting 5 to 6 yards, first down, second down, all the time.
Yep.
And that was even without I think his name Jazir Patterson. He got
Yeah.
injured ankle injury or something early in the game, kind of took him out, and Kamari Moulton kind of just dominated the line of scrimmage with their O-line. So Darius Taylor, if he plays, that could be bad for our defense because we haven't shown any signs of improvement on stopping the run, but I don't see like this offense slowing down at all. Minnesota didn't play amazing against Buffalo. Buffalo's a good MAC team, but like if their defense couldn't stop Buffalo from scoring points, I don't see a way where we don't score a good 20, 30 points again. And it's really going to come down to the simple mistakes. I swear, I better not see more special teams mistakes. The blocked kick was terrible. I mean, if you watch the replay on that, yes, everyone could say, "Oh, Jay Patel kicked it too low." He does that a lot. But I mean, Iowa, every player on the Iowa line on the blocked kick bullied our blockers, and there was 3 to 4 people who had a chance of blocking the kick. So it wasn't like it was one guy who made a spectacular play. It was just 3 to 4 guys just bullying our front four. Can't blame Jay Patel for that one. You blame the unit as a whole. So I better not see any of that next week. It's just like this is an important game because we have Minnesota and then on the road at Washington on a Friday night game after the bye week.
Yeah.
So going into the bye week 4-1 will be huge for the momentum, huge for the morale, because then you have a hard slate ahead of you. This is like the 2 easiest games we'll play all year besides Purdue. And then like I really want to get to Oregon at 5-1. That'd be the most ideal position you can be in, but you can't worry about the future. You got to worry about this week of practice. I hope the team stays confident because they played a hell of a game yesterday. And I hope Shiana just fixes the mistakes they make. And I think if they do, Minnesota is a game that we can win. And we won it last year. I think we can do it again.
Thank you, Dylan, for joining me. Unfortunately, not great circumstances after last night's game, but we're looking ahead noon next Saturday for Minnesota and Rutgers. They'll be heading out there, so follow us for all of the coverage going on there. Also, stay tuned for some new basketball coverage coming this week with the full basketball season schedule now out for Rutgers. So Dylan will be taking that along with Chase Stevens. So thank you everyone so much for listening, and we'll see you next week for hopefully another Rutgers win.